Have you ever felt the sting of betrayal hidden behind a smile? Have you found yourself questioning whether the people around you are sincere or merely playing a role? This video will guide you through the labyrinth of human interactions, revealing 7 undeniable signs that someone is being fake with you. By the end, you will not only identify these signs, but also learn how to face them with the calm, steady mind of a Stoic. Stoicism, the ancient philosophy of resilience and inner peace, offers profound insights into relationships and human behavior. It teaches us to focus on what is within our control and accept the rest with grace. In this journey, we'll explore each sign with a Stoic perspective, helping you navigate through deceit without losing your tranquility. Stay with us until the end, as the most powerful insight lies in the final sign, a revelation that might change how you view relationships forever. Now, let us dive into the first sign. 1. They talk behind your back. One of the sharpest pains in human relationships is discovering that someone you trust has been speaking poorly of you behind your back. This betrayal often reveals itself subtly: a shift in their demeanor, a hesitation in their smile, or passive-aggressive remarks that seem to undermine your worth. These moments plant seeds of doubt, leaving you wondering, can I truly trust this person? The Stoics remind us, however, that it's not the actions of others that disturb our peace, but our perception of those actions. As Epictetus once said, "It is not he who reviles or strikes you who insults you, but your opinion that these things are insulting." When you hear of someone gossiping about you, ask yourself, why does this bother me? Is it because their words shake your confidence, or because they reveal the true nature of the relationship? Imagine a colleague who, in private, praises your work but in the company of others subtly mocks your efforts. Their behavior reflects more about their character than your own. They may be driven by envy, fear of competition, or a desperate need for validation from others. Stoicism teaches us to remain calm in the face of such duplicity. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to focus on our own integrity, saying, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Instead of confronting the gossiper with anger or resentment, maintain your composure. Their words, like passing clouds, cannot alter the sky of your character. You might choose to address the situation calmly or simply let their actions reveal themselves to others over time. True character, after all, is self-evident and requires no defense. Moreover, gossipers often betray themselves. When someone habitually talks behind others' backs, you can be certain they'll do the same to you. Pay attention to how they speak of mutual friends or colleagues. Are they quick to criticize in private while maintaining a facade of kindness in public? This duality is a clear indicator of insincerity. In the Stoic framework, we are encouraged to manage our reactions and protect our inner peace. If you find that someone's gossip affects your well-being, consider how much power you're granting them. Are their words worth your peace? Detach yourself from the opinions of others, for as Seneca wisely noted, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. As you reflect on this, think about your own relationships. Have you ever encountered someone who betrayed your trust through gossip? How did you respond, and how might you handle it differently now with the clarity of Stoicism? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your stories and learn from your experiences. Don't forget to like this video if you've found this insight valuable so far. The journey continues. In the next sign, we'll explore a behavior even more deceptive, one that hides behind shifting masks depending on the audience. Let's uncover it together. 2. They act differently with different people. Have you ever met someone who seems to wear a different mask depending on who they're with? One moment, they're warm and supportive in private. The next, they're distant or dismissive in front of others. This inconsistency is one of the clearest signs of insincerity. It raises the question, what do they truly stand for, and where do you stand with them? Stoicism emphasizes the importance of living authentically, aligned with one's values and principles. A person who constantly shifts their behavior lacks a firm grounding in their character. They prioritize appearance over substance, seeking approval from different audiences by adapting their words and actions. This is not the hallmark of a genuine individual. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Never esteem anything as of advantage to you that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect. Those who change their demeanor to please others often sacrifice their integrity along the way." Imagine a friend who praises you in private, highlighting your strengths and achievements. Yet when surrounded by a more influential crowd, they minimize your contributions or even undermine you. They might laugh at your expense or ignore you entirely, as if your presence holds less value in that context. Their true loyalty is revealed not in their words, but in their actions. What drives this behavior? Often, it's a need for validation or a desire to climb the social ladder, using each interaction as a stepping stone. The Stoic approach here is twofold. Observe and reflect. Pay attention to the patterns in their behavior. Do they consistently shift their tone, or is it a rare occurrence? Ask yourself, is this a relationship worth investing in? While it's natural for people to adapt slightly in different settings, a complete change in personality is a red flag. As Epictetus taught, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. Authentic people remain consistent, regardless of their audience. You might wonder, should I confront such a person? The Stoic answer lies in assessing what is within your control. If their actions affect your peace or your reputation, it may be worth addressing calmly and directly. However, do so without anger or accusation. Instead, seek to understand their motives. Often, a simple question like, "I've noticed you act differently in certain situations. Why is that?" can open the door to a deeper conversation. At times, the best course of action is to distance yourself. Not every relationship is meant to last, and Stoicism reminds us that detachment from what does not serve our well-being is essential for maintaining inner peace. By stepping back, you preserve your energy for connections that are genuine and mutually uplifting. Next, we'll delve into an even more cunning form of insincerity: those who seek relationships only for personal gain. Stay tuned as we uncover this toxic dynamic. 3. They always want something from you. Have you ever noticed that certain people only show up in your life when they need something? Their timing is impeccable. They appear just when they need a favor, some assistance, or a solution to their problems. These individuals seem attentive and warm, but their true motives become clear over time. They are in the relationship for personal gain. When there is nothing to gain, they vanish as quickly as they appeared. This behavior can be subtle at first. They might ask small favors, borrowing items, seeking advice, or relying on your emotional support during their difficult times. You might initially feel valued, believing they trust you enough to turn to you. However, as the relationship progresses, you start to notice the imbalance. When you reach out for support or companionship, they are often unavailable or indifferent. Why do such relationships hurt so deeply? Because they exploit one of our fundamental human desires, the need for genuine connection. Stoicism, however, offers a lens through which we can understand and respond to such situations. It reminds us to focus on what is within our control, our actions, our responses, and our boundaries, while letting go of what lies beyond our control, including the behavior of others. Seneca wisely noted, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Those who approach relationships with a mindset of constant taking are impoverished in spirit. They see others not as companions on life's journey, but as resources to be exploited. Their need to extract value from others stems from an inner emptiness, a desire for material gain, validation, or assistance that they are unwilling to reciprocate. Think about someone in your life who frequently asks for help but rarely offers it. They might call you when they need a ride, financial support, or advice. But when you're facing challenges, their responses become vague. "Sorry, I'm busy," or "I'll get back to you soon." Yet they never do. This behavior reveals their true priorities. Stoicism teaches us to view such individuals not with anger or resentment, but with clarity and acceptance. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. When you lose such a relationship, you are not losing a true friend, but shedding a burden. The time and energy once devoted to an imbalanced relationship can now be redirected toward more meaningful connections or personal growth. But how do we deal with the lingering feelings of betrayal or disappointment? Start by asking yourself, what was I expecting? Stoicism emphasizes the importance of managing expectations. If we expect others to act according to our standards of fairness and reciprocity, we are setting ourselves up for disappointment. Instead, accept people as they are. Understand that not everyone will meet your expectations, and that's okay. This doesn't mean you should tolerate being used. Setting boundaries is an essential Stoic practice. Decide how much you're willing to give without feeling resentment. Offer help freely, but do so without expecting anything in return. This mindset allows you to maintain your peace regardless of how others behave. At the same time, it's important to recognize when a relationship no longer serves your well-being. If someone consistently takes more than they give, consider whether their presence aligns with your values and goals. Detachment doesn't mean severing ties with bitterness. It means consciously choosing where to invest your energy. In our next segment, we'll confront an even more painful reality: the people who disappear when you need them most. How do we cope with such disappointment, and how can Stoicism guide us through these moments? Stay with us as we continue to uncover the truth behind insincere relationships. 4. They are never there when you need them. True friendships are often tested in moments of hardship. It's easy to share laughter and joy, but the real measure of a relationship lies in whether someone stands by you when the clouds gather. Sadly, one of the clearest signs of insincerity is when someone consistently disappears during your times of need. Have you ever faced a crisis and realized that certain people who you once considered close were suddenly nowhere to be found? This behavior can manifest in different ways. They might make excuses, claiming they're too busy, or they may offer vague promises to help later, which never materialize. In some cases, they might simply avoid your calls or messages altogether, leaving you to confront your struggles alone. This can be deeply painful, as it not only highlights their lack of care, but also forces you to question the authenticity of the entire relationship. From a Stoic perspective, such moments are opportunities for growth. Epictetus taught us, "Circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself." When someone fails to show up for you, it reveals their true character. But more importantly, it offers you a chance to reflect on your own strength and resilience. Are you relying too much on others for support? Can you find the inner fortitude to face challenges independently? Consider a scenario where you are going through a tough time at work. Perhaps you're dealing with overwhelming stress or facing an unjust situation. You turn to a friend for comfort, someone who has leaned on you many times in the past. Yet when you reach out, they dismiss your concerns or simply don't respond. In that moment, you feel both abandoned and betrayed. Marcus Aurelius would encourage you to shift your focus inward. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The absence of others, though painful, does not diminish your ability to endure. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate self-reliance, to build an inner fortress that can withstand life's storms regardless of who stands with us. This doesn't mean we should isolate ourselves or reject all forms of support. Genuine connections are a source of strength and joy. But Stoicism reminds us to differentiate between reliance and dependence. If you find yourself repeatedly let down by someone, it's worth considering whether their presence in your life contributes positively to your growth. How do you respond when someone fails to show up in your time of need? It's natural to feel anger or disappointment, but these emotions often do more harm to us than the original offense. Instead, Stoicism advises us to accept the situation with equanimity. People are fallible, and expecting them to always act in accordance with our hopes sets us up for unnecessary suffering. Letting go of such expectations doesn't mean lowering your standards. It means recognizing that true peace comes from within, not from the actions or presence of others. When you encounter someone who consistently lets you down, consider this. Their actions may free you to invest your time and energy in more fulfilling relationships. Reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever faced a moment where someone you relied on failed to support you? How did you handle it, and what lessons did you take away? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your insights could provide comfort and guidance to others facing similar challenges. Next, we'll turn our attention to a different but equally telling sign of insincerity: those who never initiate contact. This behavior speaks volumes about their priorities and the value they place on your relationship. Let's explore this dynamic together. 5. They never initiate contact. In any meaningful relationship, communication should flow both ways. Yet one of the most common signs of a superficial connection is when you are always the one reaching out. If you stopped initiating, would the relationship continue, or would it quietly fade away? This is a sobering question, but one that reveals much about the true nature of the bond. When someone never initiates contact, it suggests that they may see you as a secondary connection, someone who is there when convenient but not central to their life. This dynamic often leaves you feeling undervalued and questioning your importance. Why do they never call first? Why do I always have to make the effort? These thoughts can weigh heavily, especially if you've invested significant time and energy into the relationship. From a Stoic viewpoint, this situation calls for introspection rather than frustration. Epictetus reminds us, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life." In other words, accept the reality of the relationship as it is, rather than wishing it were different. Take a moment to reflect. Imagine a friend or relative who only responds when you reach out. If you stopped calling or texting, how long would it take for them to notice your absence? This experiment, though simple, can be revealing. It helps you determine whether the connection is truly mutual or sustained solely by your efforts. When you confront this reality, the initial reaction may be disappointment, but Stoicism teaches us to view such realizations as opportunities for clarity and growth. Instead of feeling hurt, consider this: their lack of initiative is not a reflection of your worth, but of their priorities and capacity for connection. Does this mean you should cut ties with everyone who doesn't reach out? Not necessarily. People lead busy lives, and some may struggle with communication for various reasons. The key is to evaluate the overall balance of the relationship. Is their lack of initiation balanced by other meaningful contributions, such as their presence during important moments or their willingness to support you in times of need? If the imbalance persists and you feel the relationship is draining rather than enriching your life, Stoicism encourages you to let go gracefully. Detachment is not an act of rejection, but of self-preservation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." By releasing relationships that no longer serve you, you make space for connections that are more aligned with your values and needs. In the next segment, we'll explore an even subtler form of insincerity, when people forget the details you've shared, revealing a lack of genuine care. Let's dive deeper into this important topic. 6. They forget what you talk about. Have you ever shared something deeply personal, only to find that the person you confided in doesn't remember it later? Perhaps you discussed an important goal, a painful experience, or even a small but meaningful detail about your life. Then, in your next conversation, it becomes clear they've forgotten. This kind of forgetfulness is not a trivial oversight, it's a sign of indifference. How does it feel to realize that your words, your stories, your feelings didn't matter enough to be remembered? In genuine relationships, people remember because they care. They listen not just with their ears, but with their hearts. When someone consistently forgets the things you've shared, it signals that they were not fully present in the conversation. Stoicism teaches us to observe such behavior without resentment, but with clear-eyed understanding. As Marcus Aurelius reflected, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The indifference of others is an event outside your control, but your response to it lies entirely within your grasp. Imagine opening up to a friend about a significant event, perhaps a career milestone or a personal challenge you've been working through. You speak with enthusiasm or vulnerability, hoping to connect on a deeper level. Then, weeks later, they ask you about something that makes it obvious they've forgotten your earlier conversation. They might even react as though hearing the news for the first time. The disappointment in such moments is palpable, but Stoicism encourages us to detach our sense of worth from the recognition of others. Epictetus advised, "If you wish to improve, be content to appear clueless or stupid in extraneous matters." In this case, the extraneous matters are the opinions and attentiveness of others. Their forgetfulness is not a reflection of your value, but a sign of where their focus lies. Ask yourself, how many times have I allowed someone's lack of attention to affect my peace? By internalizing their indifference, we risk amplifying its impact on our self-esteem. Instead, Stoicism urges us to accept such moments as they are, a reflection of their priorities, not of our worth. When someone forgets what you've shared, it's an opportunity to assess the depth of the relationship. This doesn't mean we should cut ties with every forgetful person. Some may genuinely struggle with memory or focus, and their forgetfulness isn't malicious. However, if it becomes a pattern, especially in significant conversations, it may be time to re-evaluate the connection. True friendships are built on mutual respect and attentiveness. Stoicism also reminds us to temper our expectations. Seneca observed, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable." When we let go of the expectation that others will always listen deeply or remember every detail, we free ourselves from the pain of disappointment. This doesn't mean lowering our standards, but aligning our expectations with reality. Consider your own experiences. Have you ever felt hurt because someone forgot something important you shared? How did you respond? Reflect on whether you've allowed such moments to affect your inner peace. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your reflections could help others navigate their own challenges in relationships. Next, we'll explore one of the most draining aspects of insincere relationships, those who always focus on themselves, leaving little room for your voice or experiences. How do we recognize this behavior, and how can Stoicism help us deal with it? Let's delve deeper. 7. They only focus on themselves. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation where the other person dominates, turning every topic back to themselves? You may start by sharing a personal story or seeking advice, only to be interrupted or met with a superficial response. Soon, the conversation revolves entirely around their life, their successes, their problems. In such moments, you feel not like an equal participant, but like an audience member, in a one-person show. This behavior is a clear sign of insincerity. Genuine relationships involve a balance of give and take, where both parties feel heard and valued. When someone consistently monopolizes conversations, they reveal a lack of interest in your thoughts and experiences. Stoicism teaches us to approach such situations with calm detachment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." If someone refuses to engage sincerely, focus instead on cultivating your own character and surrounding yourself with those who value mutual exchange. Why do some people behave this way? Often, it stems from insecurity or a deep-seated need for validation. By steering conversations toward themselves, they seek to reinforce their sense of importance. But as Epictetus reminds us, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. Those who are overly self-focused miss the opportunity to grow through genuine connection and understanding. Imagine trying to share a difficult experience with a friend. You begin to open up, but before you can finish, they interrupt with their own story of a vaguely similar challenge. Rather than offering support or empathy, they redirect the focus entirely. This pattern not only leaves you feeling unheard, but also diminishes the depth of the relationship. Stoicism offers a practical response. Instead of confronting such behavior with frustration, simply observe it. Recognize the dynamic for what it is and decide whether it aligns with your values. If the relationship consistently leaves you feeling unheard and unvalued, it may be time to step back. Seneca advised, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Seek out connections that elevate and inspire rather than drain your energy." When you encounter self-centered individuals, ask yourself, "Am I willing to continue investing in this relationship?" If not, practice the Stoic art of detachment. This doesn't mean severing ties abruptly or with animosity, but gradually shifting your focus to more fulfilling connections. As we conclude, let's reflect on the overarching lessons Stoicism offers in navigating insincere relationships. True peace lies not in changing others, but in mastering our own responses. We'll tie everything together in the final section. Stay tuned. We've journeyed through 7 signs of insincerity, each offering a deeper understanding of human behavior and its impact on our relationships. From those who gossip behind your back to those who consistently prioritize their own needs, these signs reveal much about the nature of the people around us. Yet, as Stoicism teaches, our peace and happiness are not determined by the actions of others, but by how we choose to respond. At the heart of Stoicism lies the principle of focusing on what is within our control. You cannot control whether someone remembers your words, initiates contact, or supports you in tough times, but you can control your reactions, your expectations, and your willingness to invest in or distance yourself from a relationship. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Through the lens of Stoicism, the presence of insincere people in our lives becomes less of a burden and more of a lesson. Each encounter with such individuals is an opportunity to practice patience, self-awareness, and detachment. Rather than allowing their actions to disrupt our peace, we can use these moments to strengthen our inner resilience. Ask yourself, which of these 7 signs have I encountered in my own life? How have I allowed them to shape my feelings and decisions? Now consider how adopting a Stoic perspective might change your approach. Instead of reacting with frustration or disappointment, you could respond with calm observation and thoughtful action. As we bring this exploration to a close, I invite you to reflect on your relationships and share your insights. Have you recognized any of these signs in people around you? How has this understanding influenced your interactions and choices? Leave a comment below to join the conversation. Your experiences could provide invaluable support and perspective to others navigating similar challenges. If you've found the lessons in this video helpful, give it a thumbs up to let us know. And for those who wish to dive deeper into the wisdom of Stoicism, don't forget to subscribe. Together, we'll continue to explore how this ancient philosophy can guide us toward a life of greater strength, peace, and authenticity. Finally, share this video with those you care about. By spreading these insights, you may help someone else recognize and navigate insincere relationships with grace. Thank you for your time and thoughtful attention. May your journey be filled with genuine connections and the enduring calm of a Stoic mind.